Hi, it's Laura from Divine Light Yoga. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. So I've just finished our first online class for our Meditation for Children and Teens course. So we started today and it runs all the way through September. And we just had our first class, which was based on body awareness and breath meditation. So using the body and the breath as a focus point in order to get children to a relaxed and hopefully a meditative state. And during this class, lots of questions came up, which is wonderful. But one which I'd really like to share with you is what poses are most beneficial to use during meditation with children and teenagers. As you know from many of my many blogs, I don't like to keep it so traditional, especially with the younger children. So for some children, it's very relaxing and soothing to lie in shavasana, which is, hi Renata. So shavasana is typically the pose that as adults we would choose to relax in and go into a deep meditation state. However, for children, that might not be the most relaxing pose. So I thought I would share with you my favorite yoga poses for meditation and relaxation with children and teenagers. So my first one, I'm going to save my best to last, but my first one is child's pose. Now, it's typically a very soothing pose, very grounding for children, so it's wonderful if you're working with children who really need grounding and centering, which is definitely most children that we're probably working with. Child's pose also gives a little bit of room for movement. So the child can still be in a meditation, they could be focused on their breath, focused on their visualization, but also swaying or rocking from side to side. And since child's pose in itself is a very soothing, grounding pose, just adding that little bit of rocking or swaying movement can really enhance the relaxation for children. So child's pose is a great pose for meditation, especially for children under 8 years old. My second one, as an alternative to shavasana, or starfish, as I call with the younger children, is Supta Baddha Konasana, which is a reclined butterfly pose. For some teenagers, it might be more comfortable. Now I know as adults, some of us who have tight hips or difficulties with their lower back, reclined butterfly can be one of the most difficult poses to do. But for some children, it's really soothing. If you're not familiar with this pose, it's where the soles of the feet are together and their knees are out to the side while they're lying down. So this is a reclined butterfly pose. And I have to say it works really well with children, especially young children. They find it very easy to get into the pose. And I think just having this image of them being this butterfly with their wings open wide, this imagery can be really beneficial and very soothing for children. So rather than encouraging them consistently to go into shavasana, which might not be very comfortable for them, you know, lying down just reminds them of going to sleep, this reclined butterfly can be a really beautiful image to get them to find a place of stillness and quiet and get them prepared for their relaxation. My third favorite pose is crocodile, or a variation of crocodile pose. So rather than lying on the back, they can lie on their belly and they can place one hand on top of the other and place their forehead down or the side of their head on their hands. So they're lying on their belly. So if you're doing any kind of breathing technique, this is not going to be a very beneficial pose. So I would only choose crocodile pose as a relaxation or a meditation pose if I was doing some sort of body awareness or a visualization. Otherwise, if you're doing anything with the breath, you need to make sure that they can open up the front of their body and that their belly and the rib cage can expand as much as possible. But crocodile pose otherwise can be a really relaxing pose for children and teenagers. My fourth one is legs against the wall, so where their feet are on the wall and their back is lying on the floor. So they're kind of in this L shape with their back on the floor, their hips are on the floor but beside the wall, and then their legs and their feet are resting up against the wall. And this is very soothing, very relaxing. It's a wonderful way to start your relaxation and to end the session. It's great for teenagers. I find that teens really respond to this pose. It's a wonderful alternative to shavasana. And younger children just think it's really good fun, so they might get a little bit giddy, but definitely for 9 or 10 years plus, legs against the wall is a really wonderful relaxation pose, and they can definitely go into a deep relaxation or a nice visualization or a meditative state in that pose. And then my fifth and final, my favorite one for children under 8 years old, is the sushi roll. So you may have heard me speak about this before. Children naturally do it. It's very difficult to prevent them from doing this sushi roll. So you'll see if you have mats, young children will come into the class and immediately they sit on the mat, they pull it up, and then they wrap themselves up into it, which I think looks like a sushi roll. So it's a sushi roll pose to the children that I work with. If you give children permission to go into the sushi roll during relaxation, then they won't feel the need to do it throughout the whole session. So you're setting the boundaries. The roll up in the mat, sushi roll pose, we only use during relaxation. So then the 50 minutes before that, they're not pulling the mats up and rolling themselves in it, because they know it's not relaxation time, and that if they want to do the sushi roll, they'll get the opportunity to do it at the end of the class during meditation time. Now, there's a lot of teachers that really hate this idea of the children being rolled up in the mat, and I honestly think the children want to be in this position. It keeps them still, it makes them feel physically safe because they're actually wrapped up, they're contained. It is physically safe because they can still breathe. The head is out, their feet are out. It's just the middle part of their body that they're wrapping up in the yoga mat. So it's physically safe. And also for most children, it makes them feel emotionally safe. So they have this barrier, this container, and that's what they need to feel relaxed. And if that's what they need, then let's give it to them. It's safe, it makes them feel good. It does create a sense of stillness because it's very, very difficult for children to be wrapped up in this sushi roll if they are, and they can't be moving around while they're in the sushi roll. So it does create a place of stillness for them. So these are my top 5 poses for meditation for children and teens. So if you want to do something different from shavasana, you can do Supta Baddha Konasana, which is reclined butterfly pose, legs against the wall, crocodile pose, the sushi roll, which is my all-time favorite one for younger children, and the 5th one, what did I say the 5th one was? Oh, I'll have to rewind it. Sushi roll, I'm very forgetful. Sushi roll, Supta Baddha Konasana, legs up against the wall, crocodile pose, and one more that I can't remember what I've already talking about, but we had 5 there. So they're my top 5, and I would suggest giving children 2 options. So, child's pose, of course. Child's pose was the 5th one for meditation. So I would suggest giving children 2 options. If you say to them, we're going to do a meditation now, we're doing our relaxation, so you can either lie in crocodile pose or you can lie in legs up against the wall. And again, just make sure that the pose suits the relaxation that you're doing. So if you're doing anything where they need to breathe into their belly, then you need to make sure that the front of the body is open. So crocodile pose wouldn't work. Child's pose might work, but it's probably not the most beneficial pose for deep breathing. And yeah, you can just give them a go and give them the choice. And then after a few sessions, once you've given them some different choices, you can then say, go into your favorite relaxation pose. And if you're giving permission for this and you're giving the children choice, they are much more likely to find a place of stillness, of quiet, to feel calm and relaxed, and also more likely to stay within that meditation for the whole time. So especially if you're working with children who do 1 minute of meditation and then they want to come up and move around, try giving them some different poses to work with and giving them the choice of which pose feels the best for them. So try those out. Let us know if you have any other special, extra special poses that you like to use with children and teens during your meditation. Especially try the sushi roll. So if you're working in a space where you have yoga mats, you can introduce this one to children and see if they like it. And then hop on over to our Facebook community and let us know how your poses went and if you've had any insight into more interesting or new or creative poses that you can use during your meditations. And have a great day or evening wherever you are in the world. And thank you very much for listening. Namaste.